please welcome with me Coach Amachree. Please, a round of applause for him. Thank you.
You know, my sister, Dr. Itara, when she told me last year about this, that was sometime in November or so, you know, where you're like, okay, we're talking about it. I said, okay, fine. I'll make myself available. I was just like, so this will be my first speaking engagement in 2024. So my future was, I knew my future 3 months or 2 months back. Wouldn't you be excited about that? Knowing what will happen to you before it happens, so you'll be ready. So I told myself, what do we really do? So I asked her, so what is it going to be about? And she said, it's going to be like bringing like minds, you know, helping them. Okay, after this, I'm going to do something. So it's not in any particular order, but we're going to do it. So like minds, rob minds, they have businesses, individuals, and what have you, entrepreneurs. You know, these days, everybody just keep throwing that word, wifepreneur, husbandpreneur, you know, managerpreneur. You know, the preneur is just everywhere, you know, but no fault of anybody's. You know, if you call yourself an entrepreneur or you want to be one, why not, if not? So to dream, plan, goal setting, and, you know, the traditional things we do at the beginning of the year. And I told my wife this morning, I'm not a traditional person, even though I believe in traditions, but I'm not traditional. Now, when you talk about goal setting, what comes to our mind, traditionally speaking, is SMART. Is it not? S stands for M, A. Please, can we go over it again so that those who don't know will take it? S stands for M, A, R. Is it relevant or realistic? Okay. T. How many of you have done this over and over again and you still find yourself in the same place? So, let me tell you, I'm not a textbook person. I read. It's not as if I don't read, but I don't believe in textbooking. Do you know why? Because when you textbook, you busk, as in you put yourself in a box. You don't think far. But like Mercy said, she's a researcher. So, I want to research into a subject. I start methodologically, as in we say, from the known to the unknown. True? So I push myself. What does it mean to dream? Because this SMART thing, we've been talking about it, and we're still in the same place. What does it mean to dream? You know, I wrote down on my status this morning, because I played with it last night or yesterday, I think sometime yesterday. You don't need to sleep to dream. But if you have a dream, it keeps you awake. You don't need to sleep to dream. But if you have a dream, it keeps you awake. So how do I dream? Let me tell you how I, Amachree Isoboye, I dream. Like I told you guys, I love coffee. So my office is close by June's. Who knows June's here? Somewhere in Maytama. So I just stand up in the morning. I do that regularly. I go to June's or House 43. I just sit down, cross my leg. I'm sipping coffee, take coffee. Sometimes I go with my friends. I'm dreaming. What am I dreaming? Do you know the kind of people who walk into June's? Guess. Just guess. Pick. Mostly diplomats. So I'm a diplomat in the making. I'm not going to give you principles, but I'm going to share with you how I dream. So the other day, I flew business class, and I stayed in a business class lounge. It felt good. And I asked them, how much to stay in a business class lounge? They said, You just pay for the food or the drinks you take, maybe 2,000 naira, 5,000 naira. I say, only? So I told myself, I will never sit in the open space anymore. I will always sit in a business class lounge. Do you know why I said that? How many of you know people who go through business class lounge? I was fortunate one day, but I didn't see him. Ibrahim Badamusi Babangida, Frankfurt. I just passed and they told me the president was. I said, let's go back. Before I got there, they've whisked him away. Those are the kind of people you see in the business class lounge. So how much will it cost you to sit there? 10,000 naira? Okay. Somebody says, it's too much. But you bought a phone, what? 1.5 million. Just to take selfies. How do you dream? So I walk into a business class lounge and I sit down, and everybody who sees me, let me tell another person I saw again in a business class lounge. How many of you know W.F. Kumuyi? I saw him in a business class lounge. How much did I pay to sit in business class lounge? 5,000. I just bought coffee, paid for my coffee, crossed my leg, feeling like I simulated it. So when you come in, anybody who sits there means is somebody or person of what? Interest or value. So that's how you dream. Dream it. You don't have to overprocess it, because analysis, when you dwell so much on analysis, you become paralyzed. The analysis that produces paralysis, it keeps you there. So I joined another group, Speak for Gold. How many of you know Fela Durotoye? Please, if you know him, right? If you don't know him, go and look for him. He was one time presidential aspirant in this country, a nation builder. So I got into his circle. How much did I pay for it? I think it was 75,000 naira. So I told myself for a year and monthly, I'll be paying 75,000 naira just to sit and listen to him. Somebody will say, okay, I don't have all the resources, financially speaking now, so you begin to plan, you sit down, you write, the cold room will take 20 million, where will I get 20 million? Do you have a freezer? Do you have a freezer? Can you get a freezer? Have you thought of starting with a freezer? Is freezer not a cold room? To dream, you need faith. Faith. People think the word faith is a religious word. It's not. You need faith to dream. And there's something about faith that amazes all of us. It is creative in nature. That thing you just said a while ago, why did you say it, and how will you get from point A to point B? You need to stand up. You need to take some steps. What do you call that? No. It's action, I know. But what do you call that in real sense? You have what? Faith. You know that when you move, your leg would what? Your leg will carry you. Thank you. Because all of you who came into this hall, sitting down, looking at me, when you came, did you check the seat? The integrity of the seat. Did you check it? You just sat. Why did you sit? You had the faith that the seat will carry you. So when dreaming, you must have faith. For faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It is not religious, it's the truth. So you have written down all of those things, but you've not taken any step. Hello? You are afraid. Fear is the opposite of faith. Okay, let me tell us a story. I write. I love writing. I do creative writing. And beyond creative writing, I also do research. I research into things. If you tell me, like, the story of electricity, I researched into the story of electricity once to understand the history of electricity. So this is the story, the spark of fire. I think there's this in BBC Museum. They have this big collage of, they call it the spirit of electricity. So above it, you're going to see a cloud with a form, a face, expression traveling. Then underneath it, you see different timelines of people who tapped into the cloud and brought down what the cloud had. People like Nikola Tesla, people like Michael Faraday, people like, let me see those of us who do research now. Okay, Brahma. So the first person to deal with electricity was that man who took two stones. We call him the caveman. Abi? He struck it and light came. If you go look at the principle there, these electrons, you hit two stones, friction, the electrons get ignited, and what comes out is the spark, fire, energy. So when Nikola Tesla came on the scene, he looked at it, he studied it, and he started bringing theories, crazy theories. Himself and, what was his name now, had a big battle. What was this American, the inventor, not Michael Faraday, exactly, Thomas Edison, who said about that DC currents, alternating currents. But this is where I'm going. Now, I want to write a story. I want to use electricity to tell my story. I don't want to look at this electricity to tell my story. I want to see behind the scenes. So now I get it. I bring my perception to it, or my perspective to it, and I monetize it. Everybody is selling an item. Is that why you want to go into that? Let me have the next slide, please. The earth is without form and void. Now, I don't want to get religious with you now. But I sat down and I said, the creation story, to me, I feel like God sat down he sat down looking at a plain canvas. So it's plain. It's like giving you a blank check. The earth was without form and it was void. So what do I do? Okay. There's a place called you. That's why it's called universe. There's a place called what? You is a location. You. I'm not talking about the letter U. I'm talking about the personality you. The first place we start from to create is you. That saying, the light is at the end of the tunnel. It's not true. No, it's not true. Have you seen the video? All right, can you play it, please? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. For it was the year 2017. For the decision of a king on the earth drove him into the deepest path of the earth. From depression, the taste of life became bitter in his mouth, leaving him with a graveled satisfaction. Yes, darkness came upon him, casting her shadows all over him. And for a season, he groped in the dark as one lost and hopeless. For his beloved could not help seeing him in this state. She took him by the hand and laid his head on her temple and whispered to him, "This is not you, my love. Life may have thrown lemons at you, but you need to ask your father help." For a moment, he listened, and doubt stared at him, immobilizing him. But in that same hour, the atom of hope, yes, came alive in him. And he lifted his eyes to his father and he cried, "Abba, I cannot do this by myself. I need your help." That very hour, the gaze of his father was fixed on him, pointing the light of Elohim in him to him. "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." Hearing those words, energy surged in him, not of humankind but divine. He rose in that state, yes, for the host of heaven was mobilized unto him, and he could hear the cloud of witnesses cheering. Like an eagle that smiles at the storm, he spread his wings and he ran. For the light was not at the end of the tunnel, the light was in him. And every step he took, the light became brighter and brighter and brighter. For the weight was lifted because he found his joy in his maker. Yea, his strength was born again. One field setting all,
even for
an enemy.
So this was me in 2017 going through a tough time that I almost killed myself. It's a true story. And I needed to get out of that place. I needed to get out of that place. And I had to connect with divinity. That's the only way I can teach you this from my experience. So bear with me if I get a little bit theoretical, you know. And I said, the light is in you. It's there, in you, in you. He said, how? How is the light in me? And somehow God through my wife told me, you like talking, you like writing. Start writing. Start doing these things and all that. It was tough. But when I picked my pen and started putting it on paper, in 1 year I wrote 4 books. Yes, 4. You can go check it on Amazon. A Cocktail of Words, A Color of Words, my HRO notebook. Hocus focus on God. Everything about me that I am so happy now started in 2017 from this story. The light is in you. So you want to create. You don't need external materials. It's there. within you. So what do I do? Connect with you. Have you, let's be honest with ourselves. Have you done this before? You look at yourself in the mirror and you call yourself, hey, Deborah, what is wrong with you? Have you not done it before? Yes. So why are you doing that? There's a you in you. And the minute you connect with that you know one thing? We are wired. Everything we need to succeed is in us. That's why this is different from yours. We all have a unique fingerprint. True? 8 billion with 8 billion fingerprints. Different. So a combination of 8 billion fingerprints. Please, can somebody do the math? You can't figure it out. I'm not saying you don't need a support system, but not until you find you. Nobody will support you. Sometimes you say it's because my uncle refused to give me that money. He didn't refuse. It's because you have not found you. People are attracted to success and they run away from failure. It depends on what you see. Did you hear that? People are attracted to success. So you need to discover you. Do you know why you need to discover you? Because you are the light. Yes, that's who you are. Michael Jackson said in one of his, I think that was his last piece before he passed, this is it. Have you seen that song? Have you seen that video? Or if you go listen to it. He said, I'm the light of the world. He knew it. Somebody say, but I thought we came for goal setting class. What do you expect to hear? Textbook theory. I'm telling you. You are the light. The minute you discover the light, there's something about the light, the physical, incandescent light. It brings what? Illumination. Have you not noticed it? That insects are attracted to what? Light. Insects are attracted to the light. Because, ask yourself, why are they attracted to the light? Do you know why? Guess. Somebody guess. Guess. No? Huh? For what? You just said it. It gives them energy. I did a study recently, as in just to research. Birds gain strength while flying. Yes. Oh, you didn't know? Fish gain strength while swimming. So why is man always complaining when walk comes? This walk is killing me. So not until you discover you will never draw strength from that thing you're doing. Have you seen people who dance, they smile, they enjoy themselves? It's like, don't you get tired? They say, I'm strengthened by what I'm doing. So when you find you, the energy you need to go to the next level becomes available. And do you know what about finding you? You can never stop finding you. That is why it's called reinventing yourself. You evolve. We evolve. There's always a greater level of energy, a greater level of you. But first of all, you must start from the rudiment to discover you. Discover you. You have to discover you. The light. So this year,
that goal setting or that thing you want to do, the research, you think you've gotten to the zenith of it. You've not seen anything. You just scratch the surface. When you go back into you. Have you ever wondered where writers get, those of us who write, you see some write-ups, you're like, how did this person come about this thing? Creative writing, playing with words. You think they got from outside. It's not true, it's in them. Deep within the recesses of their being, they got hold of it. And now how to express it. They started looking for the externals you're talking about. The word education. You know what education means? Do you know what education means? Please, who knows what education means? Huh? Doctor, you want to try? Bringing knowledge and light, okay. It's a Greek word. If you look at the etymology of education, educe. What do you mean to educe? It means there's something there. I am only what? Pulling it out. That's education. Deductive. You should see the word. Educe, deduct, reduce, seduce. There's a deuce somewhere. It's there. Deep within your resources. So what do? You bring it out. That's education. Somebody said 1 + 1 is 2. He said it's 1 + 1 is 2. You don't understand 1 + 1 is 2. Ask a typical trader, an Igbo man who trades. Mathematically, whatever, you're trying to do quadratic equation, just tell him 1 naira + 1 naira is what? Oh, 2 naira. He's in him, he's there. So all these people are saying, all these quadratic, simultaneous, you're just confusing me. Just ask me ask me, and I'll give you the answer. So that is it. So when we begin to discover who we are, we begin to create our own process, our formula. Write it down. Write it down. What am I writing? You know, writing connects you to something. Do you know what it connects you to? Who can guess? Huh? Your emotions, okay? Who has seen this movie, Ink Heart? Don't mind me, I watch good movies. I learn a lot while watching movies. Ink Heart, go look for the movie, Ink Heart. Now, Ink Heart was, what was this guy's name? Brandon Fraser, I think that's his name. The guy that Mommy, the movie Mommy Returns, I think his name is Brandon Fraser. So himself and his daughter. So the book is about this writer. He didn't know that as he was writing, his characters became alive. Yes. It was when they started, as in there was a fight, he started looking at the characters. They were everything in the book. I wrote the book, so I can tell. If I create a character in a book and I call him Odogu, when I see Odogu, I will know now. Ink Heart. So it's like there is this ink within you that is desiring to be expressed. Everything written down ends up being created. Ink Heart. Ink, as in the ink in your pen. The faintest ink is brighter than the brightest brain. Have you heard that before? So write. Your brain is not for, like I tell my children, your brain is not for storage, it's for processing, so write. You don't store things in your brain.
you process things with your brain. Everything written down finds its way into creation. So you must write it down. What am I writing down? That thing. What? I said that thing. It sounds stupid. No, to them, not to you. Have you seen children, as in toddlers, talking? Do you understand them? They understand themselves. They giggle, they talk, blah, 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 blah. You be like, what's wrong with these children? They understand themselves. Because at that level, they are not connecting with mere sound. They are connecting with the spirit in them. Okay, now. Let me show you something. Transformers. Who has seen the movie Transformer? Oh, sorry. Let me also give you an advice. Watch movies selectively. Learn. Entertainment for me is learning. I love it. I learn when I'm being entertained. You think I'm laughing. You think I'm learning. I'm seeing things you're not seeing. Now, when you watch Transformer, the first Transformer 1, when Wiki discovered his grandfather made contact with the Transformers. I think that was the first one. Okay, now, it's the second one, not the first one. So they were trying to trace this messages coming across the space and or rather affecting their systems and all of that. So they got a computer analyst. Who is the computer analyst here now? Aisha. Okay, yes. They got a computer analyst. And when she analyzed the transmissions, the codes, she found a biological simulation underneath the codes. How is that possible? Machines with biological synapse. I leave that to you to figure out. But where am I going? There's a level you get to, the information you have can only be decoded by you. That's why you need to write it down. And people ask you, I can't explain it. But I know I can walk the process because I have written it down. I didn't say don't go and read people's books. I didn't say that. But first of all, read yourself. Can you read yourself? So what do you mean by read yourself? What I've been saying for the past 10 minutes. Because honestly, those people that wrote those things, if you sit with them and ask them, it's the same principle I'm telling you here they went through. They figured out how to break from their own mold and to help the world. They said, okay, let me just put this information down. But the truth is, when you pick it, when you read their materials, there's this thing that will come to you. This is what I've been saying since now. Inside me, I was telling you. And someone will tell me, are you okay? You know that I was telling you that I don't know what you were telling me. Because I didn't understand it. You now bring the book. Read it now. Oh, is this what you were saying? Yeah, yes, now. Atomic habit. So why didn't you do anything? Birds of a feather flock together. That's the external you were talking about. Why didn't you do anything about it? You look for like minds to support your dreams. It's good to share, but don't share if they are not like you. If they don't speak your language, if they don't believe in your process, if they don't believe in you, don't share. But look for birds of a feather. You know, the first time I came across this word, we used to say that birds of the same feather. No, it's not the same feather, it's of a feather.
reading has helped me and research is birds of a feather. Now you notice when I said birds gain energy when they fly. Now, you've seen birds fly in formations. For those of us who grew up in the south, even in the north, you know, the cow egrets, which we call chekeleke. You know what we call them? Chekeleke. Chekeleke, give me one better finger. Oh, these children, these are Gen Zs, I'm saying. Chekeleke, give me one better finger. And when you turn, you see it. I'm still trying to understand what is happening there. You know, I'm not being superstitious. Of course, I'm not being superstitious now, but I will find out one of these days. So now, when you see them fly, you rarely see an egress fly alone. Very rare. They always fly what? In groups. What they call it? Is it group of birds or school of birds now? They fly. Do you know why they do that? This is the reason. They all have the same mind. They are going in the same direction. That's why you see that they migrate. When they see the change in the northeasterly wind coming to this part of the world, bringing Hamatan, they said, okay, it's time for us to migrate to where we're going to find more food or whatever. They now come together and they move. So what's there? It means there's a you out there looking for the you in here. Find the you. It might be just one person. It might be just two people. It might be just three people. But find. Find. And the minute you find it, your energy level will not double. Do you know what is going to happen to it? 1 chases what? 1,000. 2 will chase 10,000. Mathematically, that's, what do you call that? Exponential. Am I correct? An exponential. An exponential. That's what you're going to see. So, friends, goal setting traditionally, I am weary of it. So weary. When I hear people write down things, this is how I set my goals. Honestly, I must tell you the truth. I won't come here and share textbook theories with you, things and all that. Okay, let me tell you something. Now, I write, I podcast. My podcast is a Word Cafe podcast with Amachree. It's everywhere on all major podcast platforms. I'm a HR person also. But I must tell you, in the last 4 years or 5 years, I have achieved what I spent 10 years sitting down looking at a computer. Yes. I'm not talking about money in my pocket. I'm talking about satisfaction, creating things. Because another thing again that puts us down is we're looking for money. Don't look for money. So this guy is sick. Why would they not look for money? Honestly, don't look for money. Money comes to where there is energy. That's why she is called currency. She flows. And for anything to flow, there must be a gradient created. It flows from where? The top to where? The bottom. But when anything wants to go against a grain, what happens? So much energy will be expended. So you're looking for money. You're looking for money. I'm looking for money. I'm looking for... Hey. Money flows. It's currency. So when there is a place to flow to, she flows. Have you seen, you hear our mothers, they will tell you,
this woman trained her children frying akara. Have you not heard such stories? This woman or this man built this house selling yam. How? How? It's because he or she found himself or herself and connected, and money just saw a place to flow to. You see, all of this I've mentioned to you will put you in a state of constant work. I hate the word. I hate the word. I dislike it. This word, hustle. I don't like it. It connotes a negative sense to me. But I prefer the word diligence. You know one thing about diligence? When you do something continuously, consistently, the capacity you have begins to expand. Your competence begins to appear. It becomes apparent. Because imagine you swinging this like Williams, swinging that racket all the day. You swing it for hours. You come to understand the dynamics, the air flow, the way the ball comes, your body posture. You're gaining competence. But when you're hustling, it becomes a struggle. Oba, they hustle. Where you dey? Oba, they hustle for urgent 2K. No, I don't like that word. Sorry, I don't like it. The day I discovered what it means, I just said no. These things put you in a constant state of work. Another thing again, we have come to misunderstand the principle of work. We think it's all about hard work. It's not. You know that thing you're looking for, you want to pivot, you want to blow, as we call it in our climate, using our street slangs. In all fairness, what you're looking for is responsibility. Can you handle 1 billion? It will kill you. I'm serious. If I give her 1 billion now, she will die the next minute. Do you know why she will die? Everything that she does not need will just come before her. Buy me, eat me, chew me. What is a continuum? This issue of when you wake up, 31st December, wash out, Happy New Year! And you see us getting happy as if we're in a new time zone. It's a lie. It's an illusion. It's a continuum. When you understand that dream, that thing you want to do is a continuum, it doesn't have an end. It gives you a sense of responsibility. It tells you, it opens you up like, do you know what you're doing? Because now what you're driving at now is you're beginning to influence culture. You're beginning to influence mindsets. Yes, women will look at you and say, have you seen, help me with your name, Rukia? See how she's successful in her business. And before you know, they start gathering around you. So even if you tell them, your head is flat. Rukia, said my head is flat. I'm going to do something about it. They take what you say seriously because you are now an authority. You are now responsible. That word responsibility is response and ability. You have grown this ability that things respond to you. And when people see you commanding these things, people think I'm talking like a magician, Abi. You think I'm talking like a magician?
Abi? Okay, let me, a little bit, what do you call it? A sidebar, a little digression. How many of you know the word abracadabra? Huh? It's not true. The word abracadabra has its origin in the Hebrew word ab, ben, ruach, akadosh. The Muslims will understand the Arabic. If you go to the Arabic, it is because I say, it becomes. That's the meaning of abracadabra. So it's not a magic spell. Magicians stole it from the archives. And so they now brought it because the human mind likes, funky things. Abracadabra. Hey, make I hear something. The more you look, the less you see. But I say the less I look, the more I look, the more I want to see. So, that's the meaning of abracadabra. I enjoy it when I discovered these things. So I started like, no, I want to know the underlying things. It puts me on a pedestal of responsibility. People now listen to me. People now come to me to seek advice. People now, what do you call that? Is that not money coming to you? Can you pay Bill Gates to come here? You know feed now. Because he doesn't need your money. He just said, okay, you fly me business class and put me in the best hotel. And I said, don't worry. Thank you, Bill. Thank you. Why do you want him? Because he has broken through. He is now responsible. Friends, it's a continuum. Not until you see it from that perspective, it will be a struggle. Listen, that thing you want to achieve, if you say this year, if I know how my brother, cool down. The way all these things have been flying, no grief for anybody, no grief. I told them, I no grief 90 tear shirt. The cloth will remain, tailors no go feel so for all of us again. So just be careful. So relax. Pem. Imagine you, see, do you have a plan for 2025? Do you have it? Do you have it? Do you have it? Some of us are still living in 2024. I have a plan for 2025. I do. The other day was my quiet time. Sorry, I'm a Christian, so I'm not ashamed of it. Everything I do, that's where it comes from. I just heard it. This thing, this particular one, push it to 2025. That's where it belongs. So imagine a projection of 2025. I'm talking about continuum. So imagine the energy, the resources I'm going to put, the mind work, the capacity, the research. Do you know that Michael Jackson, before he comes on stage for any performance, he doesn't do less than 48 hours of dance rehearsals? He doesn't. No. For a 5 minutes performance, he does more than 48 hours. Non-stop. So when you see him on stage, he's only rehearsing. He has done the main work inside. So imagine that you want to do that thing, you're in a hurry. You're not in competition with anybody now. You take anybody's certificate. You're not no, you're not. So when you put yourself in that mold, that's why. Somebody said Nigeria is hard. It's not true. We have challenges, but it's not hard. Yes, I'm telling you. Somebody said, you're trying to speak as a Christian. I'm telling you the obvious. Nigeria is hard. Tony Lumelu made how many billion the other day? Is it not in this Nigeria? Is it not in this same Nigeria? It's your perception. So change it. Don't be in a hurry. And don't put yourself under pressure. Don't say, oh boy, this business, if you know happen this year, I go break person head. You go jail.
You just go to jail, straight. Sanko. But give yourself, it's okay, I've done this today. All right. That's what is called progress. Progress over perfection. I made progress today. When I started my podcasting in I think it's 3 years now. I started it in 2021 or so. It was a drag. But I've done 161 episodes. Over a period of 3 years, I've over 9,000 downloads across 12 major cities in the world. Progress. Not perfection. Progress. Progress. And listen, you're not in competition with anybody. You're only discovering you in a higher dimension. If it doesn't happen today, cry, dry your tears, go back to the drawing board, ask questions, do introspecting. Introspecting, quietness. Read your environment. They said, if you go to Canada, it's happening there. Are you sure? Say, if you go to Gwagwalada, that's where it's happening. Really? Are you sure? Can you do what Gwagwalada people are doing? Yeah? Can you? These are the questions you ask yourself. First of all, find you. It's a continuum. Who knows the gypsies? You've read about gypsies. You know the story of gypsies? Okay, let me encourage you. If you want to be a good businessman, please start reading. Read. Read. I'm serious. Do selective reading. The gypsies, a famous gypsy is the artist, Picasso, Pablo. We know Pablo Picasso, yeah. He's a gypsy. Now, there's a lot about them. They say, things, some fetish or whatever. But this is the story I want to drive. The gypsies don't stay in a place more than 2 years. They always move. And they know when it's time to move. They just know. It's like a wave. It comes over them. They tell you it's time to move. So most times, the gypsy community always live like nomads, tents, and they're very creative people. The computer you and I are dealing with, the internet and all that, were actually created by the gypsies. A way of communication, code, and all that. They started it. So this is a story. They found themselves. And they know that we won't be here for more than a certain time. So all these things you're doing, I won't stay here with you. I will shape-shift this place. And when it's time, I go again and shape-shift. Imagine shape-shifting so many places, over a period of, say, 100 years. Do you know what you have ended up doing? You have changed the culture of the people. Yes, you have. You've succeeded. So, as a businessman or that drive, what do you want to achieve? Next slide, if I have any. Okay. Thank you. What do you want to achieve? Do you just want to make money? Or you want to be a culture shaper? Takes time. Takes effort. It takes patience. They said, with patience, you can cook a stone. Is that true? Yes, very true. Have you seen, go do the research, snails break stone. Snails with their tongue. They are
very patient. They break stones with their tongue, with the saliva, with the enzymes. When it comes in contact and reacts with the calcium and everything in that stone, it begins to break. I go school. One, I look me that way. I go school. So it breaks. Hello, guys. This is how to change your mindset. See, don't look at things on a straight line. That's why I said goal setting, tradition, they just call smart. Okay, fine, you've written it down. Oh, yeah, go and do it. See how you can get yourself to that malleability, that point of your being malleable, that your processes, you create it in such a way that everything around you adds to your process. You know how to take, when women are cooking in the kitchen, you wonder, you just put fish, protein and everything before them. Cooks or chefs, not just women, but I use women now for purpose of illustration. You just go out, 1 hour, you come back, you see a pot bubbling, and you look into the pot. You try to cast your mind back what you put on the table. You mean all this thing is in this pot? And you now test it. Wow. The woman has dug into herself like an artist. She brings out her creativity onto that meal. That's what women do. They create an art for us to eat. What do you want to create? Even if it's water you want to sell, there's a way you bring in the elements of creativity. I just want to drink the water. I just want, but there's another water. I say, no. Go and get me Mercy's water. That one is, but there's still, I said, go and get me that one. The creativity, the strength put in it is like calling my name.
What if there is somebody similar to you that you feel like, oh, this is the trajectory I also want my business or my life to follow?
Yeah.
Will it be so wrong to try to model? Because take for instance now, this is something you've never done. Maybe you're new to a field. I'll use my sister as an example. She has a BSc in international relations, but she's trying to switch into data analysis, right? And this is something she has never done previously, yeah. So will it be so wrong to want to follow exactly how somebody who is already doing it?
You will fail. You will fail. Now, I'll go back to Michael Jackson again. Don't mind me, I study him a lot. Now, people see Michael Jackson dance and they think he's a good dancer. Every step Michael Jackson does existed before. The moonwalk was done by somebody else. The leg walk, the way he moves his leg and all that, James Brown used to do it. I'll go on and on. But do you know what he did? He perfected it. He brought Michael Jackson into it. There's Alistair, Frank Alistair, that's his name. I'm dancing in the rain. I don't know if you've heard that. Michael Jackson cannot dance half of what that guy does. He's late now. But he studies him. Because when I say Michael Jackson does his move, that's Frank Alistair's move. He takes it, refines it, then brings it out. If Michael Jackson had the opportunity of coming to Africa to do Skelewu, you'd be surprised what he would do. You'd be so surprised. He brings himself. He has discovered Michael. So he brings the essence of Michael on that thing. So I'm not saying you shouldn't study people, but you cannot be another person. It's not possible. There is no any other Amachree Isoboye. No, it doesn't exist. It's only me. But you can study what I do and model and bring out yours.
So when I see people try to copy, like, you know, we copy, we don't know how to paste properly in Nigeria. It's a very big problem, you know. Now, let me tell you, in my writing process, I've tried it severally, and it works. I can look at a write-up, and I like it. I look in between the lines. And what I do, I just go for the meat, and I yank something out, and I bring in my fuse. I fuse myself into what I brought out. I give it back to you to read. You can never connect it to that story. I discovered it. It's me. That's me. It's my style of writing. You get? So that's another thing. I'll give you another example. Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings. How many of you have seen Lord of the Rings, the movie? Yes, The Hobbit. Do you know that he shot the movie backwards?
Yeah.
From end to start. Nobody shoots movie like that. Some of you, I know, you're just like, really? Yes. He shot the movie backwards. He showed us the end of the story. It's like God creating something. He has seen the end from the beginning. Forgive me. So now, that's how Peter Jackson, and most of his works, he does it that way. So, now, I copied something from there. When I'm writing, I write from the center. I don't write the beginning of my story. I write the middle of my story. Then I go to the end, and I come back to the beginning. So when you're reading it, there's a little twist to it. Until I explain it to you that thing you just read now, that's the end of the book. Or that's the end of the story. So you must find your unique selling point. Those are what social media influencers will always be talking about. I said, let me copy them a little. USP. What do you call it again? Unique selling, USP. Discover you. The minute you discover you, hello, you can copy. It's free. Yes, it's free. But if you don't discover you, you will copy. You can't paste properly. It becomes a problem. I use the word copy, yes. But discover you. All right? You want to pivot into another business. You want to venture into another. There's nothing wrong about it. But not until you discover you. You find it very difficult. But but that person, he or she is doing it with ease. They are doing it from the place of you. They've discovered themselves. So it's just flowing.